basically what we're talking about, we use the word positioning a lot, both of us. And I think where we get stuck as marketers is this push and pull where we're chasing a campaign, a moment, or we're strategizing around a asset, or in the tech space, it might be like a white paper or a video or a case study. Like you're stuck at that lower level. Can you talk about the difference between an overall content umbrella strategy and then the subsequent assets underneath that? What should the relationship be? Because one without the other seems dangerous. How do we think about that as marketers when we're trying to build something meaningful and scalable and that actually works?
Ideally, it is all coming from the same brand purpose and brand promise. If you really sweat the top level, what does our brand mean and what does it mean to consumers, then every touch point underneath that should have a clear line to that. I think all the best brands in the world are very rooted in a brand purpose that you can feel in a email headline, that you could feel in a 30-second ad, that you could feel if you go on their website, that you could feel if you snuck into their office and just walked around the halls and looked at what was hanging on the walls. It's easier said than done, mostly because it takes a lot of commitment and I think a bit of sometimes patience on everybody's part to make sure that we are not acting too quickly on something or being reactive without strategy or trying to reinvent ourselves every year because of minute to minute performance dips or peaks or things like that. I think companion messages that fit together, when you read one and read the other, those two things should build upon each other. They shouldn't contradict each other. So I always think that having creatives in the room and having the creative thought to look ahead to what that last piece of creative would be, even when you're talking about top level brand positioning, only make sure that you are creating a brand position that is as strong as possible. And when you have one that is crystal clear and can be summed up in 2 words, or that just feels very tight and concise, then that ex copywriter or art director or social media manager responding to somebody's DM or complaint or something could really just look to those 2 words and know exactly what they should be saying. And that feels like a superpower of some brands, that clarity that really can just inform everything that they say and do.
What would you do if you're in, let's say, a business unit of a large enterprise and you don't have that clarity, but you still want to create a comprehensive, differentiated position? Is it a matter of trying to find a version of whatever you can discover as the brand purpose through a mission vision statement and apply it to your world? How do you translate that if you're not the CMO of a large enterprise and you're still operating a business unit or something like that?
I think hopefully you could find something in your company's mission and vision that could give you, it might be a paragraph long, it could be just a quote that somebody, a C-suite person said in an interview. It could be something that just feels like it has some guiding principles to what your company is doing. Maybe it doesn't have to be so official that it is something that gets put on the company website. Maybe it is something that you decide with your internal team that here is going to be our guiding purpose for this project, for our group, for our team, that obviously ladders up to what X person said or what it says X on this website, but something that just feels like, okay, looking around, we have this project on our table. It feels like it needs a promise or a platform that is going to really help us guide the voice and guide the vision for this project. Let's get the right people in the room to help us figure out what that is, the strongest, the sharpest, the toothiest version of that, the thing that is going to cut through. Because like you said, you're talking about walking through a shelf of bourbons. Like that's everything. The liquor store just happens to put it on display. Every HVAC company, and they're all one of several on a shelf. And so what are the things that you can say and how can you say it that gets you noticed? Finding that out and doing that work with some people and a whiteboard and a marker or however you want to do it first, I think will make the rest of that project a lot easier because everyone will be coming from the same perspective, will have that thing to look to and reorient themselves when it gets a little confusing like projects do.